Whether you're looking to make some short-term money by flipping some football cards or you're looking for the right time to add to your personal collection, I'm going to have all the information you need on how to get started and what you should be looking for in order to be a successful football card investor. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for jumping in. Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you find this information helpful, because it's really going to help me and it lets me know that this content is very valuable to you. So let's get into the content. Let's talk about football cards and what it takes to be a successful football card investor. Because as I will say to you, there are some ups and downs in learning, and there's a big steep learning curve for many people. So I want to give you as many tips as I can so that you can be a successful short-term and long-term football card collector, and you can have a ton of fun in the hobby in the process of doing it. So let's go ahead and just jump in. So let's start off with the most important thing. Which players should you invest your money in, and which players are going to hold some value long term? Well, it's not going to come as a surprise, as the quarterbacks dominate the football card market, but other players like wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends also do get a little bit of play in the money making. But if you're looking for more offensive linemen or defensive players, it's going to be very, very hard unless you have a Hall of Fame player that you're going to be investing in that's going to make you good returns in the long run. But if you love a certain player, like maybe you're a Jason Kelce fan from the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan. So, hey, if you love the Eagles and that's your team, you can go ahead and invest in those players and just know that you're investing in them because you love that team, you love that player, and it's not going to hurt your feelings if you lose a little bit of money on the card or the card just goes down to zero. Maybe it'll hurt a little bit, but in the long run, you're going to be happy because that's your team or those are your players that you love investing in. So the quarterbacks do dominate the marketplace, as you can see. Other skill players like running backs, like wide receivers do get the run as well, like I said, and tight ends, but it's a very select few, right? There's not going to be very many tight ends that are going to be superstar level like our Travis Kelce, like our Mark Andrews, that are going to return us the same way. Some players that are emerging in that end would be like Sam Laporta, even Dalton Kincaid to some point. So the quarterbacks are going to be where all the money is made. And why is that? Well, the quarterbacks are the one that get the ball on every single play, unless even just to hand it off to a running back, right? But they usually play a lot longer. Football is a sport that has a shorter lifespan compared to sports like baseball, compared to the NBA, right? Where their careers can last into their mid-30s, even into their early 40s. So we want to make sure that we understand that football players, maybe their career can span for 5 years, 7, 10 years if they're lucky, but the quarterback position seems to be the one that lasts the longest and allows players to have a more long career. And they're usually the ones that are making the highlight plays, right? When you go on to Sports Center on Sunday night, on Monday night, after the football week's concluded, who's the one that's getting highlighted? Who are the MVPs at the end of the regular season? Well, it's always the quarterbacks. Well, most times it's quarterbacks, right? There are rare occasions like last year. Maybe Christian McCaffrey should have won the MVP if Lamar Jackson didn't have that awesome game at the end of the season. But your quarterbacks are going to be the one that are making you money. You have to be careful though. Just a tip. All cards do not go up. All players do not just go up forever. They do have spikes just like a regular market. The sports card marketplace is just like a regular market. It's very volatile. It can go up very fast and it can drop out very quickly as well, because it's all driven by hype. It's all driven by highlights, and it's all driven by who wants to collect that player at that time. So you have to be very careful. Players do not just continue to escalate and keep going up in prices. There's a few things that can have that happen, right? A career-ending injury. They can just start playing poorly. Or their team, that football is a team sport. Their team cannot be as cohesive around them and they're not making plays. Remember, there's so many things in football that cause a play to go right or a play to go miserably wrong. It all depends on the lineman. It depends on the blocking scheme. It depends on the wide receivers running the right routes, the running backs making the right play. And then it also goes on to the defensive side too. Can they protect the lead? Can they protect the win at the end of the game? All these things play into effect, whereas, a basketball player or a baseball player, you can have a singular player that can take over a game and dominate, and that's going to help their sports card price just keep going up. But in all sports, they do go up and down. So players can cool off. I'm going to give you a couple good examples. Like, hey, Kyler Murray started out really hot and then he started disappearing again. Maybe he has another uptick, right? Like they go up and down as things go. Other players like Daniel Jones had a little bit of a good run. Then he had a really bad run. He got hurt. There's just so many examples of players that have had that really good performance and then they tend to go down. I would even allude to Baker Mayfield. He had a good start to his career. He dipped off a little bit. He went to Tampa Bay and found himself again, and he's up there. He's not like a superstar player, right? But that's an example there of a player who had a pretty high level, then he went down, and then he found himself again. He's back there. So that's how football can work. It's kind of weird, and it's also kind of frustrating when you're trying to invest and know where to put your money in these players. So yes, wide receivers do make some money, running backs do make some money, but I would caution and be careful of running backs. Go ahead and look at Christian McCaffrey rookie cards, because you're going to see that, hey, maybe they're not as valuable as other quarterbacks that are out there. So there's injuries that occur at the running back position a lot, and it makes it very difficult to invest in running backs. So I would steer clear of running backs, especially if you're a new investor, because it's very hard and very frustrating. You don't want to pour a lot of your bankroll into those players, because if one of them gets hurt, especially at the running back position, they get hurt so often. And I don't like predicting injury, but hey, they draw a lot of contact. All it takes is one knee injury to ruin the rest of their season, and they're done. And now you're stuck with a card that you're going to have little to no value on, unless you want to just hold on to it and try again next season. But that's not always the best way. If you're investing in the long run, yes, that is great. You can hold on to them at that point, right? So just to summarize, all your offensive players are going to be the ones that are the players that you should be investing in. And I didn't know, it should be the rookie cards that you're investing in. Why is it that the rookie cards are so collectible? Well, it's because the first card of them in their professional uniform. So rookie cards are regarded as the one that you want to be investing in. Yes, there are second, third, fourth year cards that do have some value, but the rookie cards are what collectors are looking for. So you're going to want to invest in those rookie cards, unless you get like an autograph card or a patch auto card. Those are the cards you want to get. It goes quarterbacks, then you get your wide receivers, your running backs, your tight ends, and I would stay away from all your other players unless they are one of your favorite players from one of your favorite teams. So there's a lot of sets as well. Not only do you have to figure out which player do you want to invest in, which position do you want to invest in, you have to know which sets are the right set for you. Going in as a new card collector, it was very overwhelming for me to be like, okay, what cards are the best ones to pick? Like, there's so many boxes. If you go to Target, if you go to Walmart, or if you go online, you're going to see there's so many different boxes to choose from. So how do you know what to choose from? I'm going to have all of these sets kind of labeled out and let you know which ones you should be investing in, even if it's the lower end. I'm going to tell you about lower end. I'm going to tell you about higher end. I'm going to tell you what you should be looking for your price range, right? So I have the list right up here. We're going to look at it. Prism is like the number one gold standard set that you want to be looking for in terms of retail. We'll talk about higher end in just a moment. We'll talk about lower end as well. But Prism is the number one most liquid product out of there. Liquid meaning that people buy, sell, and trade it more often. Then it comes Optic. We have Select Football, Donruss Football, which is another form of Optic. It's Donruss Optic. We have Contenders. We have Mosaic. We have Absolute Football. We have Topps Chrome, which is coming back this year. So there's so many different sets. There are sets that only have them in their college uniform, such as Score or Prestige, so they're not as highly sought after, but you can get autographs in those boxes, and that's why people get those boxes. But Score and Prestige Football, those are the really low-end products. They come out really early, and they only have the rookies in their college uniforms, which there is a small group of collectors that go for that. But overall, that's not really the rookie cards that you're wanting to get. So I have them kind of listed out here. And for those of you that are returners, you can kind of throw in some comments or some suggestions as to like, does this look like the correct ranking? But I tried to rank them from top to bottom of like what's most sought after down to the bottom. What I put in parentheses is the collectible card that is highly sought after, and it's a very big chase card, and they're very hard to find. But if you can get a rookie card in that type of card, I did include it there so that you guys can kind of understand like, let me Google it, let me look it up right now. If you've never seen them before, check out what those cards look like and see what makes them so appealing to collectors and go, yeah, like those are cool, I really like them. So you're gonna see a lot of different cards. I suggest that you type it in Google if you've never seen them before. Type in Prism Color Blast insert. Type in Mosaic stained glass card. You'll see some really cool renditions of these cards, and I'll throw them up here as well. But Prism is the holy grail of the retail product. The one thing that you're looking for is the Color Blast card. It has this really cool insert. You can see it on there. Nice blank background, color poof in the background. It's just a cool, clean looking card. It's very highly sought after for collectors. After that comes Optic, and the cool insert you're looking for here is the downtown insert. Everybody hunts for these. I've been looking to pull one myself for a long time. Still not successful, but I know it's going to happen one day. But that's what has driven Donruss Optic Football to be so highly sought after this year and so hard to get, is because everyone's chasing those downtown cards and they look really cool. Select has tiger print, zebra print. For basketball, they have elephant print. I've seen snakeskin print as well, dragon scale. So they have a whole bunch of renditions. They're hard to get, but they're really cool to look after. I would look up Joe Burrow tiger print rookie card. Like, those are really cool looking, very hard to find. We have Donruss, which is the early paper edition of Optic Football. So this comes out earlier in the season, usually around December, January. The cards are paper, so they're not chromium, so they're not as nice and they're not as thick, so they're a little bit less sought after, but still collectible. If you get your quarterbacks in there, like let's say you got a blue CJ Stroud in Donruss, it looks really cool. But you can also get your downtowns in there. There's just a slight difference between Optic Football and Donruss Football of what the downtowns look like. The downtowns in Optic have the laser print. The Donruss set just has the plain chrome finish. And this is just my personal opinion, but I prefer the Donruss edition just because it's a little bit more clean. But some people like the Optic version just because it's a more highly sought after set. After Donruss, we do have Contenders, which is really low end, but the big collector ticket in there is the rookie ticket autographs. So they have the ticket set and you want to get the on-card autographs of your rookies there. Mosaic is another set. And this might, in my opinion, actually go over Contenders now, but Mosaic is its own set. And the big chase that you're looking for there is your stained glass insert. And they're really cool cards. They look like a cathedral stained glass with the player in the front. Awesome design. One of my favorite designs as well. Then we have Absolute, which is a really cool set. Absolute has the kabooms. The Kaboom parallels, which looks like a comic book explosion behind them. And then we also have another one called Explosive, which isn't as sought after as Kabooms, but Explosive have a really cool design as well. These sets as well, I didn't mention, but all of these, if you get these insert cards that are listed here as of a veteran player, this is where the veteran value comes. If you can get a really good player, let's say like a Tyreek Hill, I'm going to say like Josh Allen, right? In their non-rookie form, but if you pulled one from this year's set, then those are going to be valuable cards because those are singular short print cards. They're harder to find. They're harder to pull. Usually in a set of 20 boxes, there's maybe one box that has one of these cards in there. So it's hard to pull that card. And then coming back this year is Topps Chrome. So Topps Chrome is usually for baseball, but it's making its appearance again. It was an older product for football in the mid 2010s, but it's made a comeback this year and they're going to be releasing a set. So be on the lookout for that in your retail products and online as well. Some final tips that I have for you guys. Make sure that you're looking for variations of cards. So it's easy to get really caught up in the hype and be like, hey, I want to get a base card of this player. And you load up. And I've done this in the past as well. I got caught up in the hype. I bought a bunch of the base cards. And once the hype's gone, then the cards really go down in value because they're the most standard printed card. So they're easier to find. A lot of people will be able to get their hands on them and then the demand goes back down. So if you're looking to get a card of a player that you really want to make your highest return on, make sure you're getting parallels. So I'll throw some examples up here like the orange laser, the green velocities, the fast break prisms, silver prisms. There's so many different types of variations that you can grab. And there's also serial number cards. So you can get cards that are numbered to 499, 199, 99, 50, 25, 10, and even 1 of 1. So that means that out of that set that year, they're only making, if it was out of 99, there's only 99 versions of that card that are printed in that entire set for the year. So if you're trying to get a card that is a little bit more unique, which you should be, right? Because supply and demand drives the price up of a certain product. So just like everything in economics, same thing goes for our sports cards. If we have a low supply of a card and it's a great player that a lot of people want, it's going to skyrocket that demand of the card. And yes, you want to be able to pull as many different variations of the card. That would be my recommendation is, yes, you can go ahead and invest in the base cards. You can go ahead and invest in different color variations, like spread your money around to those different cards so that you have a large pool to choose from so that you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to sell and which ones you want to keep for long term. Try not to chase hype. I know that's a lot easier said than done, but try not to chase hype. It is very hard not to go out and watch somebody like, let's say, Lamar Jackson goes and throws for 4 touchdowns and rushes for 1, has an amazing game. That's where his value is going to be at his peak. I would recommend not going to eBay right away and trying to scoop up as many Lamar Jackson cards as you can, because guess what? His price is going to be absolutely insane that day, especially through the rest of that week, because people are going to be trying to buy as much as possible. What I would do is I'd probably try to put those cards on sale that you have of that player and not chase and try to buy. So, of course, it's easier said than done. Buy when they're lower or when they're not performing as well, but you gotta believe in these players so that when they do have those big time performances or they win a Super Bowl, whatever it may be, you can get rid of some of those cards that you have. And then finally, it's all about fun, right? Of course, yes, it is a fun hobby if you can make a little bit of money on the side, but collect the players that you love. Don't collect players, don't invest in players that you do not like. So again, I'm an Eagles fan. I stay away from Cowboys players because I don't like them. I'm not going to be happy if I invest in a Cowboys player and that player goes down in price as well. So invest in the players that you enjoy, invest in the players that you love, because that's what makes the hobby great. And you're going to have a lot more fun investing in those players that you care about, and you're going to be a little bit more into what you're doing because you're going to have time, you're going to have emotions invested into it as well, because those are your favorite players. So you're going to care more about it. If you invest in players you don't care about, you're probably not going to go out of your way to try to list it on eBay or try to make a deal and get rid of it later. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button, please subscribe, and please share it with somebody and give me some comments. And if you're a veteran collector, please give me some comments or give other people in the comments section some encouragement or some comments and share some information with them so that they can become better collectors as well. So I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.